Good morning. The powers that be seek to flood, they actually want open borders. Now, this is not like some kind of weird theory. The UN Migration Compact, for some reason they call it compact, I don't know why, but they use the word migration, not immigration. Immigration, I guess, would imply borders. So migration in this compact that they tried to get all the world to sign establishes migration as a human right. Therefore, it cannot be denied. So this is what the people we are now going to have to contend with, who want to end national sovereignty and borders. And the world, and all you have to do is Google, freedom of movement, immigration, migration, and look it up in the major publications. Maybe not major, maybe major may not be the right word. I'm sorry, I just woke up. This is my first video that I hope to put on YouTube on this, and so I'm nervous and I am groggy. Look it up in the Economist magazine, the Atlantic magazine, etc. And they are actually saying we need to have not even basically, but fully open borders into our countries, which are, almost the only livable countries on the planet at this point. I mean, of course, exaggeration, but and maybe even inaccurate, but the countries that the rest of the world would love to come to. They're not trying to go to Nigeria or even Brazil or Argentina, Chile, Libya. So while we're on Libya, these same powers that be have obviously extremely purposefully ruined Iraq, quite obviously. Even though they were strongmen, they were had strongmen leaders. They had middle classes, and if you mind your own business and did your own shit, then you could live a decent life. And in Libya, most of North Africa, the Arab Spring, and I'm sorry, my next videos will be, I won't stumble so much and say stupid stuff as I'm already saying here, like kind of mixing up my sentences. Let me turn the heat out here. So, it's pretty weird timing in a lot of ways. The very recent mass media taking up the tactic of demonizing whites is pretty new. To the younger people, they don't know this, but it's only been about 7-8 years. We have accomplished in the West here basically miraculous changes in the last 200 years. 200 meaning starting to end slavery. We only broke out of Europe and, kind of put an end to having to defend our borders from us, from invasion, and again, I won't stumble so much in the future. The borders in Europe from being invaded by the North Africans and Middle Eastern, the Moors, to be enslaved ourselves. It was only a little 500 years ago. So starting 200 years ago, we decided slavery was wrong. And started to try to eradicate it, even though, okay, I know it's still in existence today, but the U.S. for the Africans and Brazil, the whole world, is not chattel slavery per se any longer, especially in the U.S. So the entire mainstream media deciding that slavery and so on, so okay, basically they want our shit. I'll get back to all this in a minute, but I mean, the agenda is obviously to disenfranchise whites and put us on the same level as the rest of the world that they are not even barely trying to bring up, which I'm sure could be done extremely easily through the banking system. So instead of trying to bring the rest of these countries up, it's time to bring the West down. The timing is perfect with, when I was little. Basically, I'm realizing that I was the end of an era. I'm 57. I was born in 61. And when we had 4 children. Well, we would have had 5. One died. But we were a small family for the United States, or average. In my circles anyway. 8 wasn't common, but it was nowhere near unusual. 8, 9, 10, 12 even. But 6 was very, very normal. So right when our birth rates are down and the rest of a lot of the rest of the world hasn't achieved this, it's time to open our borders. There must be a way to economically function with a constant or stable, not growing population. Okay, I think I'm going to turn it off now. This was my first attempt, and again, early in the morning, but I have a lot to get to.